Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today on what is indisputably the most famous driveway on all of YouTube. Today I am meeting up with ChrisFix, the legend himself. We are going to be taking a look, talking about his drift car, going a bit behind the scenes on what we've actually been getting up to over here, which you might already have seen, and then we're going to be hopping into his Hummer H1 1996 with Duramax swap to go out for a bit of a drive. And I must confess, I've never been in a first gen Hummer. In fact, the only Hummer I've been in is the new EV, something a little bit different, but this is the place where all the magic happens, where you have seen, no doubt, plenty of tutorials and learnt a whole lot about fixing and repairing cars. Let's go find Chris though and look forward to what's in store for us today.
Hey guys, ChrisFix here. What is going on?
How you doing? Good to see you.
This is awesome. All the way from the UK to my driveway right here. This is so cool, dude.
It's really cool. I feel like I know this place. We've met up a few times out at SEMA at some different events and stuff, but here we are.
You're actually here. This is great. So you actually got me in a good time. I'm finishing up my video. This is the newest video for my channel. How to replace your windshield wiper brakes. Very important. So
it needs a bit of a backstory. We're going to go through this in a moment because it's super cool.
Okay.
Of the fun April Fools that you've been filming.
Yes. I think this is like the 7th one now.
It's become a bit of a tradition.
Blinker fluid, piston return springs, winter, summer air, it just goes on.
And all, of course, featuring this.
The DriftStang. This is like what got me started. I guess this and my pickup truck.
Which is super cool. And you just opened the door a moment ago and I was like, what? Because this is not normal.
Yeah, it's a little dirty. I haven't cleaned it, but
those seats.
Yeah, the seats are really cool. Bucket seats with the name on top, embroidered.
The seats are amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's, yeah, drift stick and everything.
Yeah.
On in there.
It's, and I did it in a way that like, it's streetable. I still drive, this is my daily right now because the Hummer, you'll see in a second, I'm having a little bit of an issue and I'm trying to figure it out. So this is what I've been using every day, and it drives great. It's a drift car for the street, you know?
So what's it running?
It runs E85. I'm making 208 horsepower. I know, crazy numbers. And I'm able to hang with everybody on the track, so I don't care. It's drifting, it's fun. I don't burn up tires. At one event, I'll use 2 rear tires.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So.
And what's going on? What do you have on the front?
Yeah, these, I don't even remember the size of these. What are they? There are 888s, so they're super grippy, and they are 245. So yeah, really not that wide, really. Just really sticky. So
perfect.
They're out a little bit because you get, I think it's like 45 degrees of turning radius, of turning angle. It's something crazy. Oh no, 65. I have to go back to that video, but you have so much turning angle because there's an angle kit on here. That way you could drift, make it a little bit easier to drift.
Makes sense. So I want to take a look more here. Yeah. Because
this is behind the scenes. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek here of what's going on.
It's a super simple video when you see the result, but you've had to do so much preparation to get all of this ready.
Yes. Let me grab some of the... So I had to make and fabricate parts. We have all these parts that were designed a certain way so that I could... Let's see. Here's a brake caliper. Here are brake pads. I had to make this fit around a wiper stalk.
As you do.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll see in the video, it looks legit. Like I was fooling myself, you know? We got everything. We got brake rotors, we got...
all the parts.
It's everything.
These are amazing.
Even down to the box from an actual company.
That's like the detail, the icing on the cake for this, that you actually even got boxes made.
All season, and I talk about why it's all season, you know, because you don't want your summer, because then it's not good for the snow. You won't be wiping away the snow, you know?
No, that makes sense.
Universal design, this all makes sense in the video. Eliminate squeaking, because, you know, when your wipers squeak, it's not actually the wipers. It's the brakes. It's the wear indicators on the brake pads, you know?
Hey, my car just behind us has a bit of a squeaky brake problem going on right now.
So. 20,000
miles on the road. It happens. But yeah. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, just again, behind the scenes stuff, have a little outline so I know I make sure I cover everything. Even on a fun video like an April Fool's video, I still want to make sure I hit on all the points. That way, as I'm filming, sometimes, you know how it is. When you're filming, you're just excited, you're doing things, and all of a sudden you forgot to talk about something or forgot to show something, And in real life, it looks normal, but in YouTube life, when you post it, it's like, oh man, I totally forgot this whole section.
I know that feeling well. And I guess given you're kind of guiding your viewers and people are learning how to actually do something and work on a car, it's even more important that you get every stage right, that everything's always accurate.
100%. Like, this is just a fun video, but my next video is how to replace a hybrid battery in my Prius, and that you have to hit upon every single point. You have to make sure you get the torque specs right. You have to make sure you say the right things, and it's important because people are relying on YouTube to say it accurately and show it correctly so they could do it themselves.
Definitely. We should probably explain for those who aren't familiar with ChrisFix, the mysterious man or reason for the helmet.
Yeah, so the helmet thing, I know it's kind of weird. The helmet thing, actually, I've never filmed. This is how I film. So I'm like this when I'm filming. You know, I have my hand out here and I'm talking about my car. I never thought of it as something for me. It's never been about me. It's always been about, here's how you change your brakes. Here's how you replace a radiator, because I'm trying to teach people. So it ended up getting really big. You know, my channel is I'm almost at 10 million subscribers, really close. And people are like, oh, what do you look like? And I'm like, well, you know what? This anonymity is actually pretty nice. Look, and you see that? That's exactly what goes on.
Stuff flying around. While you've jumped into this thing.
So this is where the helmet came from. I've never showed my face on video. People wanted to see me. I went out drifting and I'm like, how do I show what's going on without showing my face? Because it's not about me, it's about what's going on. And that's kind of where the helmet came from.
Which makes sense. It's the anonymity, right? It's become your thing. It's become almost, because you film from behind the lens.
Exactly.
You're holding a camera, showing with your hands what you're doing, what you're working on.
Anybody could be me. It's just some blue gloves working on your car, or in this case, drifting.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
This thing's, well, the DriftStang, right?
Yep.
It's a monster. Shall we go check out the Hummer?
Sounds good to me. All right, so let me show you how this works. To open up the hood,
That doesn't look easy.
It's heavy. It's a brush guard. So the guy who owned this before me, cool story. There's a crack right here, right?
Yeah.
He was an elk hunter. He loved going up to Canada to hunt elk. And on his way home, an elk jumped out in front of him. He was going, he said, about 45 miles an hour. He hit the elk. In any car, you're done. Like, elk are bigger than deer.
Yeah.
And he thought he caused severe damage. And I mean, he ran over it and everything. And he got out and looked. This wasn't even bent. A little chip there or crack there, and he was good to go.
That was it.
There was a lot of mess to clean up.
Oh, I can imagine. There was a whole lot of mess.
Yeah. So once you undo both of these, let's see. Open up the indoor pull for the hood, and it lifts up just like a Corvette.
Because the thing is that the engine isn't here. The motor's in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. The engine starts right there. So that's all the accessories, and the engine's like pushed inside the car. So you have, actually it's like 50-55 weight distribution. Or 45-55 weight distribution.
How wide is this thing?
As wide as a tank. So they designed it so that the tires fit in the tank tracks. So when they're doing convoys, it's smoother, you know, it's better to be in there than try to like get in the tank track and out the tank track. So it is, I think it's like, I don't want to give a number. It's wide. It's way wide.
Really
It
big.
barely fits in a parking spot.
It makes my car behind look absolutely tiny.
Yeah, yep. So when I park it in the driveway, like, you don't know there's another car in the driveway until you peek around the corner.
But it's currently misbehaving, or it's all good?
I like that. It's misbehaving. So there's, I use this for real. This is my daily. I've driven over cars. I've driven in water up to here, forded through water. Like, I go off-roading, I put stuff on the roof, I've had thousands of pounds on the roof. I use this, it has a camper up there, so I push it. And it's making a little bit of a clunk randomly. So I'm trying to diagnose the problem, and recently it just decided to spit tons of transmission fluid all over the floor. Luckily not in my driveway. So we're gonna go top off the transmission fluid right now.
And hopefully,
and we'll go for a ride. I mean, listen, it's a Duramax and an Allison transmission. So it's gonna make it wherever we go. We just might have a little clunk. We'll see. Let's see.
It's also just ridiculous. You were explaining a bit about the axles.
Oh yeah, here, I'll show you real quick.
Just learning about all of this, because I don't spend too much time off-road. Oh God, you got it?
Yeah. So here's the portal axles. These are really cool.
Yeah.
So you see in here, that's the axle up there. So
Above center.
above center. Center is right here where this line is.
Yeah.
That's the central tire inflation system. That's air that goes into the tire to inflate and deflate the tire. So having the axle all the way up here gives you more ground clearance and gives you the central tire inflation system. And for every half a revolution of the axle, it's 1 revolution. So you're doubling the output torque at the hubs.
Yeah, makes sense. You get a whole lot out of it, and it's just a monster.
Yeah.
So we've got to open it all back up again.
Yeah, that's fine. It takes 2 seconds. Not a big deal.
You got it?
You got it?
How heavy is that? Yeah, pretty heavy. I don't think weight savings are the criteria with this.
Actually, that's why this is made of fiberglass and not steel.
Really?
Because it's weight savings.
Okay, so they did have a little bit of weight savings on mind.
The body is aluminum for weight savings.
Yeah.
So like, the reason why, okay, the inboard brakes, I just put everything down. If you peek in here, the brakes are inboard. They're all the way tucked under to keep it out of the debris and stuff, and also to give you less weight on, you know, less unsprung weight.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. And then inside, I'm gonna have a quick look in here. It's actually quite luxurious and nice in there.
It's a little dirty, but yeah, it's actually pretty nice in there.
No, I'm loving it. Right, okay, so what's going on up here? Transmission.
Yeah, transmission. So I am gonna add some fluid. And this is an Allison 1000 transmission. Right now, this engine's making about 500 horsepower and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. And we are low on our fluid here. So what I'm gonna do is just quickly put some transmission fluid in. And this is the stuff that Allison recommends, so we're good to go.
Behind the scenes of ChrisFix here.
This is like everyday life for me. Something's always broken or not working and needs to be fixed. So I'm used to making it work, making it happen.
Carrying all the right tools.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives me plenty of content, you know? So let's try not to make a mess. Beautiful. Now, how much do we add? I spilt probably about, I'm gonna take a guess and say 4 quarts on the street, which is now soaked in kitty litter, so it's getting all absorbed. That's about how long it took me until I realized the cooler line fell off. So that's about 2. We'll start her up, we'll get her warm, and we'll check it.
I'm gonna start this up then.
All right.
In theory.
Yeah, no, and it'll start, no problem. So you've started diesels before, right?
Do I have to do something special?
You have to wait for the wait light to go off.
Okay, so key in here.
Yep.
Step 1.
Good. Turn it to run position. See the wait light right there?
Yeah.
Once that goes off, you could start like a regular car.
Yeah, that's all.
Yep.
And then just turn it.
Send it.
Beast.
That's it.
Sounds like we're ready to head into the war zone.
Yeah. I can't even hear what you're saying.
No. Oh well.
You got the 4-inch straight pipe exhaust coming out the back. I love it. It sounds like a jet when you're driving.
Fast forward, we now have some transmission fluid. Gosh, I feel like there's enough room for a whole car between us here.
Yes, it's pretty far across.
Boom.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah. All right. This thing's ridiculous. Well, I'm not gonna lie, this thing is quite funny. It's ginormous.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's very quick. Like, you wouldn't expect it quick. 0 to 60 in like 6.7 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like hot hatch speed.
Yeah, it's fast.
That's okay. That wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, and then when you hit the brakes, it's got the upgraded brakes. So they put them on the armored vehicles because they weighed 12,000 pounds, and that's what this has. So it brakes fast, 60 to 0 in 140 feet.
140 feet. That's impressive.
I mean, it's not amazing, but for this, like, this weighs 8,000 pounds.
It's only like 45 meters or something. It's not much at all.
No, a Corvette, I think, does it in 110 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
A normal car, I think, does it in 140 feet, so.
Yeah, pretty average. And then inside, you've got room for anything you could possibly want to have.
Yeah, tons of room. I got the camper upstairs, so you could go up there and go camping if you want.
I thought that was quite funny. You are clear my way.
Thank you.
To see it here. When I was spotting outside that you had the camper stuff up on the top.
Yeah, yep.
Thankfully though, out here, the roads are suitably wide for such a machine.
For sure. By you, they're not, right?
You would have a horrible time driving this thing in Europe. In fact, I recently had the Hennessy Mammoth, which is based on the TRX. And driving that thing down our country lanes, yeah, that was pretty horrendous, I'm not gonna lie. But
yeah,
this is like...
The one time I went to Europe was going to Ireland, and there's no way, like, any of those roads, I would be able to fit this on there, so.
Yeah. Right, let's hop out of here. I gotta find the door handle. It's so funny. Oh, what a monster. Oh, you were gonna take us for a dip there. So,
I mean, the good thing is, it didn't make that noise, and I think what I did to fix it actually worked. So it was, we might have just fixed it right now. I still need to test drive it some more, but yeah. I'm really excited about that.
That's a good thing. I don't know how deep this lake is, but I don't recommend driving into it.
It could probably get about halfway there until it sinks in the mud.
It's actually kind of cool like this thing here. What a monster. I'm gonna take a photo. This is like a cool backdrop. Definitely has to be done. Get the moment. There we go. Why not? It's different. I don't, you know, I've been in like G-Wagon 6x6s, you know, the G63
yep.
6x6, but that's obviously nowhere nearly like as rugged and military and...
Are they loud and like, is it luxurious in those? I've never been in G-Wagons.
I'd say it's pretty similar, because that's probably the big surprise with this, is that the inside of it is actually like oddly well finished.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like you don't expect.
It's got leather.
Leather everywhere.
You know, and this is a 96, so they actually, see this right here? This is an interesting thing. The original Hummer had this plastic come out here, so this is a special cutout they do aftermarket, so you can actually fit in here and your knee's not touching.
I was going to say, because that's kind of where your arm goes.
Exactly, your arm and your knee will be right there.
So they had that little cutaway to give you a bit more space.
Exactly.
How long have you had this?
I have had this since 2019.
Okay, good few years.
Yeah.
Good few years working on it.
It's my daily. This is my daily driver.
You must be one of the only people in the world mad enough to daily something like this.
Life is too short to drive boring cars, you know?
I agree.
So I'm all about, like, and I know people are like, oh, you get like 2 miles a gallon. It runs on biodiesel. Yeah. It gets 15 miles a gallon, which is better than my pickup truck. And I don't really drive that much because I work from home. So I'll be going to the shore, I'll be going out to eat, you know, so it's not like I'm using it a ton. And I fix Priuses to make up for the, you know, the difference.
That's a good way to look at it. ChrisFix, the man who daily drives a Hummer.
All right, the police are here, so let's get out of here.
They're not literally here, but it is getting
No, they're
dark.
right there.
Oh, okay, yeah, the police are here. Let's go. The police are literally here.
Not that we're doing anything wrong, but, no, but I'm sure they're gonna have questions.
I would have questions too. A guy in a helmet in a Hummer, at the end of the day, light going down. There's a whole lot to ask questions about right now. They're watching us. We're honestly innocent, I promise. We're going.
Now, do we have the ChrisFix plates on, or do we have the actual license plates? That's the question.
I think you have the actual license plates on.
Good.
But right now it would be a problem if you didn't.
I think we're good.
Well, the good news is that we haven't been arrested.
We are good to go. You're gonna make it home, dude.
Can you imagine if I do my whole tour around the United States and the time I get pulled over is like the penultimate day in the Hummer with you?
With me. The least likely person to ever get arrested.
Thankfully not the case. We're all good. We're heading back to base. Well, as you can tell, night has quickly fallen. We've come back to the driveway where I'm sure many of you at various times will have watched videos that Chris has made featuring this car, but certainly here of all sorts of different things. I know I have. Fascinating world, a very different world to the supercar road trip adventure stuff, of course, that you know from my channel, but amazing to come here to catch up with Chris, to go out in arguably the most ridiculous daily driving car that anybody has ever had. a Hummer H1 with a Duramax like that, but fun nonetheless. Thankfully, no trouble, no being pulled over by the police, but also super fun to be part of this year's ChrisFix April Fools with the various things we've got going on over here. The windshield wiper brakes. Brakes for your windshield wiper, and if you haven't already, do go and check that out as well. Of course, many more videos to come over at ChrisFix. If you're not already following Chris, do go check out his channel, give him a subscribe as well. But a big thanks for hosting the visits today. It's been a lot of fun. That's it for this time. Thank you very much for your support. As always, guys, I appreciate it an awful lot, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.